Hello guys, welcome to Python week 9. Okay, and we are also going to see week 10 and week 11 revision today. So this is a week 9 revision. So in week 9 we have file handling. So this is the syntax for file handling. F equal to open, and inside the parenthesis we need to give the file name and the mode. So we have these many modes, and you may only aware of or that is read and write, and you can also know that we are also having these remaining modes also. So based on our requirement, we can use whatever mode we have. But in our syllabus, we have only read and write. So let's look only read and write here. So in read means open an existing file for a read operation. That's it. So write means open an existing file for write operation. If the file already contains some data, then it will overridden. Okay, that means if you want to write something in your file which is already there exists means what it will do, the data will be overridden. Okay, so while writing, and if the file doesn't exist means we will create a file while writing. So while explaining deeper, I tell you that in detail. So then what is after doing all stuff like file handling, whatever you want, we need to close the file using f dot close. Okay, because it is a good practice and the file may not corrupt. Okay, so to precaution, and we need to close that. Okay, then let's see how to read a txt file. As I said, this is the syntax f equal to open, and we need to provide the file name. Here we have provided file name as student.txt, because here you can see I have already created a student.txt file where the Python code exists. So this is our Python code, and this is our to student.txt. Here you can see this is the data which is inside that. Okay, so if this file is not exist, where our code exists means we need to provide the entire part. Okay, entire part of the file, then only it will work. And we also need to give administrator credential. Administrator credential means we need to give the permission, so then only the file will open. But as we have our program, that is Jupyter notebook and the txt file in a same location, so entire part doesn't require. Okay, so you can see we are providing the file name, and we are going to read. So we are giving the mode as or means read. So while reading, let's see, we can read in these three formats. Okay, this one is f dot read line, means read one line at a time. So this syntax will read only one line at a time. So then we have f dot read. This will read the entire file, and it will save it in that. Okay, so and we have f dot read, and we need to provide an integer n. So n means it will read n number of characters. Okay, so let's see how these will work. So first let's see f dot read. Okay, so string equal, I'm saving that f dot read to string. Okay, so nothing but I am saving it f dot read to string. So let's see what will string print. Okay, let's run the code. Here you can see the entire data is printing. Okay, this is our entire txt data, and you can see the entire data is printing. So f dot read will print the entire data. If I provide f dot 1, okay, so not one, let's take f dot 2. Okay, let's run it. You can see only it is reading first two characters. Okay, if I put f dot 3, it's reading first three character. That's why. So f dot read of n will read the first, not first, the read n number of characters. Okay, so we have read and printed the first three characters. What if happen if we again read three characters and print? Let's see. Here you can see it has printed the first three characters, and if you read again three characters means it will read the next three characters. So that is why it printing the next three characters. If you have doubt, let's see the txt file too. You can see uh, SEQ, the first three characters printed. After that, we are reading another three characters. It is printing N0 comma. Yeah, so you can see NO comma. Okay, so likewise it will go on. So then let's see readline. So I told a readline will read one line at a time. So let's see readline print string. So let's run our code. Here you can see it has printed the first line. Okay, this is our first line of our txt file, and it has printed the first line. So what if happen if we read again? See, I have copy pasted that again. You can see it has read the first line and printed here, and we are calling this f dot read line again. Okay, so our string will contain this read the second line, and while printing we are getting this second line, and so on. So read line is used to read one line at a time. Okay, so and one thing I need to mention here, in some cases we need to ignore this header, because in some program or in some scenario we won't need this first line, as it is containing only column name, and we may not need to do nothing about that, means we can ignore. Okay, we can ignore that line by just simply, you can see, if you put f dot read initially, that means we can ignore that as it is, ignoring header. Okay, ignoring header. So afterwards whatever you read, it will print the useful data. Okay, so keep make a note of it. If you want to ignore the header, you can put f dot read line at initial. So that means we can, if you print, you can see only the data we are getting, because we have ignored the header by just putting it f dot read line at first itself. So this is about reading a txt. So let's see how to write a txt file. So the syntax is same, except the mode we need to represent as w. W means writing. Okay, so let's here you can see this is our location. Here you can see we doesn't have, we have only student.txt file. Okay, so no more files we have here. What we are going to do, we are going to create a student1. Okay, student1 txt. So as the file doesn't exist, what it will do, it will create a file and write whatever you are writing there. And in how to write inside a txt file means using this syntax f dot write. So using this f dot write syntax, we can write whatever you want inside our txt. Okay, so first let's delete it off. So you can see we have opened the file. Okay, open the file and we are creating, as the file doesn't exist, we are creating a file and writing to it. Okay, so as I said, to write we have the syntax write, and inside that we need to provide a string which you need to write inside our txt. So here let's bsc degree. Okay, so I am going to write bsc degree inside the file, and next I am going to write IITM. Okay, so finally I am closing the file. So let's run and see. Okay, we have run that. Let's see that the file exists. You can see a new file, student one, has been created. If you open, you can see uh, bsc data science, sorry, bsc degree and IITM, but they have printed in a same line, but we doesn't need that. Okay, then what can we do means we can add an new line at the end here. So slash n means new line. So if you run it again, you can see bsc degree and a new line, and the next line only we are getting IITM. So it's working fine. And as I told, if the file already exists, if you try to write in a file which is already exists, means it will try to overridden. Overridden means it will delete the entire thing which is exist in the file, and it will write the new one. So as you see, we have already written bsc degree IITM, but let's try to uh, write differently. Okay, let's degree is enough. So let's run it out. So if you open now, you can see only degree is present. That means it has overridden what is already exist. Okay, so that is how write works. So the let's see how to split the data, because in most of the cases we may need to handle CSV, that is comma separated values. Okay, so this is a good example, our student data set. So this student txt is a good example of comma separated values. What we need to separate each. Okay, we need to separate each value using commas. Okay, let's see, this is our syntax. What we are doing, we are reading each line. Okay, and we are assigning that to a string, because when you read each line, that type will be string type. Okay, after reading we are using split. Okay, dot split command to split using comma, and we are assigning to L. Okay, because while we split, it will return a list. Here you can see split using comma. Okay, because we are included comma here and we are splitting using comma, and it will return a list. So the split dot split syntax will return list, and we are saving it in L. So uh, let's try to read this student txt file. Okay, so first we need to open our file. Open, and we need to we need to give the file name. Student is a file name. After that we need to give the mode. So mode is nothing but we are reading. So or after, what we are going to ignore. Okay, because we are not interested in the header of the file. Okay, so we are going to ignore that header for now. So to ignore, we can read the first line in first occurrence itself. So then we are saving the second line in string variable. Okay, after saving, let's try to see what is the type of this. Obviously it is going to come as string, but just for our reference we are printing the type of it, and we also print the string also. So far it's good. So let's run and see how it's printing. You can see type of the string is type of the string variables str, that is string, and while printing we are getting the data. Okay, data which is in the second line because we have ignored our header. So that's what. So let's try to split it now. So to split string dot strip, here you can see I have included strip. Strip means we are excluding the front and backspace. What it means, for example, let's say we having a space before 0 and we, or else we having a space before, sorry, after 100, means if you put strip it will remove the space in front and back. Okay, so if you doesn't put also it will work, but it's a good practice to have strip while splitting. Okay, so strip dot split, so we are splitting our string using comma. So and we are saving it in L. So let's print the type of L, and let's print L also and see how it looks. Here you can see uh, that is type of L is list. As I said, split dot split will return a list. Okay, so type is list and the L is nothing but a list which consists of the values which are appended to that list. Okay, so now we can handle these things. Next, so this is how we can split. So we need to keep in mind we can ignore our header by reading the first line first itself. Okay, so this is to ignore header. Then here we are reading the second line. Okay, so here second line, and we it will be in string type only, and while split dot split will return a list. So dot split will return a list only, so that is why the type of L is list. So this is all about splitting the data. So let's see one example. Okay, exam program, we need to compute the average marks in each subject. So in each student txt we have subjects CT, Python, and PDSA. So we need to compute the average of each subject. So how we can compute? So let's see. And another thing, okay, let's consider we doesn't know the exact number of subjects what we have. Okay, let's consider that here by seeing we can tell we have 3 subjects. Okay, that's fine, but let's consider we doesn't know how many subjects we have. So based on that we need to uh, look our code, and we need to compute the average of each subjects. So first let's read the file, open, and file name, and one important thing, always close the file name and the mode inside quotes. Okay, then only it will work, or else it will arise an error. Mode should also be closed within quotes because they are actually string. String should be closed with quotes. So after reading the file, we need to know how many subjects we have because we doesn't know how many exact subjects we have. So this time we doesn't go not going to ignore our header, okay? Because we need to know how many subjects we have. So columns, columns in columns you are saving the first line f dot readline f dot readline because our first line contain the column name. So after that, in what we are doing columns in same columns, we are splitting columns dot. Okay, not be column, let be string itself. So, okay, so we are getting the column name as string here, and we are splitting the that string using comma. So splitting it using comma. So let's print it and see is it working fine or not. Here you can see we got, okay, we got the all column names in a list format. Okay, so uh, we can get the subject easily from this. So we know that sequence number, name and gender will be in first. So remaining will going to be subject names. So for let's we while string, okay, string is not equal to null, we are going, this means string that is not equal to null means till we reach the end of the our file, this loop will loop. Okay, so we are reading our second line here. We are reading our second line here, and we are checking that it is the end of the line. Okay, so if it doesn't equal to null, so we can consider that we here have so many lines still. So inside while uh, we need to compute. Okay, we need to split the string. Okay, we need to split our string. No, so L equal string dot strip dot split. So we are splitting using comma. After that, we know we need to loop through each subject what we have. Okay, so before that, let's create a dictionary. Yeah. Mm, First, let's save our subject. Okay, let's save our subject in a dictionary. So for that, let's put for I in range. I in range. Sorry, let's check I in columns. Not that. Okay, so let's first length equal len of column. After that, let's loop. Okay, in range of we need to leave 0 1 2 because our subject is starting from uh, third index because it is 0 1 2 3. So our subject names are starting from third index, so we need to start from 3 till length. Okay, till length we need to loop, and let's create one dictionary one to store our marks. Okay, what we are doing, what we are trying to do means we are trying to keep a subject name as keys and the average marks as values. Okay, So let's create uh, diction one of columns. Okay, that is columns of I. So columns of I, so when columns of 3 means ct will be the key, when columns of 4 means python will be the key, and so on. So we are having a list as our value. So what we are actually going to do, we are going to append all marks in our this list. So in this, after reading the second line, that is our data, we are splitting with comma. After that, here also the same, because our marks start from 0 to index. So here also the same for loop, and what we are doing, same we are doing. Okay, but it is our list. So we are appending dot append append. We are appending our uh, marks. Okay, that is L of 5 we are appending. So let's, after the and one important thing some may forgot, we need to put at the end of the follow, we need to put string dot read line. Okay, sorry, f dot read line, because sometime we may forgot to read the next line, because the while loop, when you read the next line only it will continue. So this is very important to put the next line in assigning to string. Then only it will check that we reached this end line or end line. Otherwise, it will loop endless and it will end up in uh, error. Okay. So after completing this, let's print and see what is inside string. Okay, not string. What is inside dictionary? So we are having a error. Okay, this is columns, not column. So next, so many errors. Let's clear it out. So file, not file name. Read line. Okay, read line. Here you can see under city we got all our city marks. Under Python we got all our Python marks. Under PDSA we got all our. Without knowing what are the subject, we have computed this. So what is our next step is, we need to compute the average. Okay, so for that, for key, for key in dictionary one dot keys. So it will iterate through each keys in dictionary. Okay, so what we are going to do, uh one of key. So we are going to compute the sum. Okay, so key equal dictionary one of key. So we are going to compute the sum, and we are going to divide by the length, but we doesn't know the length. Okay, so we should have another lines, another variable lines 0, not 0, let's take it as 1, because we have already read the first second line. Okay, that is our first data here, so that is why the number of lines will be 1. So each time it will loop, we are going to increment that lines variable. So how many lines we have, that many records of students we have, no. So we are dividing by lines and we are saving it in the same key. So now let's print our dictionary and see. So we are having one error. What is it? Oh, okay. What the mistake is? We are going to compute the sum, no, but you can see our values, that is our marks, are still in string type. Okay, you can see it is closed with quotes. That means it is a string type still. So how can we compute a arithmetic operation in a string? So that is what it's saying. So this is also an usual mistake which you can do also. So while getting here, okay, this is going to be a mark now. So while getting here, we need to convert it to integer type. Here you can see it is string type. So after converting, you can may see it will go to integers. Here you can see it is gone to integer. Okay, before it was string, now it is an integer, and now that's why we are getting the average of each subjects here. Okay, so we have computed average of each subject marks and save it in a dictionary, and we without knowing the subject names and how many subject we have. So this integer string to integer conversion is very important to this kind of arithmetic operations. And another thing, this string, okay, because at the end of the while loop we need to read the next line, then only the loop will work out. Okay, so this is also an important thing to remember. So that's it for week 9 revision. So let's see week 10.